My CX-5 was slowly losing coolant and I didn't know where it was going. The car ran fine, but I needed to find the leak before it caused a bigger problem. There were clues that it might be the water pump, but I didn't get confirmation until I took the pulley off. And to get to the pulley, I had to do a few things first. In this car, the water pump lives on the right side of the engine near the wheel well. So I lifted the front, put it on jack stands. It's a bit high, I may have to change this. Remove the wheel, and then I needed to drain the coolant. I'm hoping that this is where I can drain the coolant. And it is. There's a little downspout and a little thumb screw, so I'm going to open it up and let it drain. I also cracked open the radiator cap. Yeah. A lot of splashing. So I tried to open up the drain plug a little more and let it flow faster, and then it shot out and started going everywhere, so I made a mess. I'm gonna take off this panel. Is that it? I think so. Well, I may have a coolant leak, but this definitely looks like oil. So where could that oil be coming from? I'm gonna take off this undercarriage because I think I need to access under here, and I lost the little drain plug. So I removed the plastic clips and then the little bolts. All right, here it is. It's right here. And it's a good time to reinstall it now so I won't forget. And this is when I noticed even more oil leaking. Where is it coming from? I will address the oil leak in a future video, so subscribe to see that. But today the focus is the coolant leak. Here's the leak I thought I was chasing. Yes, it does look wet up there, so that is the water pump. I'm gonna try and replace that. So I'm gonna take off the water pump belt, putting a rag, this old t-shirt, right here and pulling out as I rotate the crankshaft clockwise with a 20 millimeter socket. There we go. Now I can just set this aside and get to work. Before I unbolt it, I'm going to take off this connector. I believe if I press right here, it will come out. Come on. There we go. Next up was the pulley. This is the view of the water pump pulley from above. There are a few tricks to remove bolts from free spinning pulleys, but the easiest way to get these off is to lock the pulley in place by lining up one of its holes with the hole on the water pump and sticking a bolt through both, as the Mazda manual suggests.
Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could
stick a big Allen wrench in one of the holes and you don't have to line up anything. I'm going to come in this way. Yeah. That's one. So I'm going to fully take this one out and then do the rest. All right, so that's one. And I took it out with the 8 millimeter ratcheting wrench. Since that worked, I did it for the other two. All right, that's the second one free. And bolt number 3 was by far the easiest. Positions I never imagined I would put my body in. And there's the pulley. And would you look at that? Evidence of a leak. It makes you feel good when you suspect something and then you get confirmation. So let's take it out. All right, there is one clip I want to take out. It's hard to get a needle nose in there, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I struggled to get this clip out because of the awkward angle, but I was eventually able to push both sides in and push it through the hole. There we go. My wife just came and told me dinner was ready, but I would really like to crack the 3 mounting bolts before I go. First one, and there's one right above it, and the last one, and you are hard to get to, buddy. There's just not a way to get a good grip. I just need a longer handle. Let's see. All right, let's see if this will. That's all it took. A little more leverage. What? I thought I cracked it. Okay, it's moving. Finally. One bolt. Second bolt. There's some coolant starting to come out, but I got the drain pan under it. And after the third bolt came out, I can start to try and pull the water pump off. Here we go. That O-ring is really in there good. Yo, that tube goes deep. Oh, I think the tube came with it. I didn't think that would happen. How is it gonna come out? So here I am doing additional stuff to try and get this water pump out. Since the tube was stuck in the water pump, I had to take off this bolt in order to free it. I don't know if you can see it, but got this little 1/4-inch drive ratchet on it. This bolt is longer than it needs to be. I'm gonna tell you that. So I got the bolt. So now the pump is more free to move. That bracket gone. But is it free enough for me to take out? I struggled to get the pipe and the pump out together, so I changed course. Rather than try and get it all out at once, I'm gonna see if I can just separate them. And then they're all slippery. I got the pipe with a channel lock, and I'm gonna try and pry the pump away from it. I'm sick of trying to protect it. When that didn't work, I changed course again. Maybe splitting the pump will give me more room. What I'm doing now is removing these bolts. One more to go. It's the last one. Can't get a socket on it. All right, I got it cracked. Let's see if we can split this pump section from the other part of the housing, see if that gives me any more clearance to get it out. All right. In a different life, I would just be replacing this part. Does that give me any more space? Almost. Oh, come on. Finally. All the problems I was having is because this and this are really stuck together. And I've already damaged it a bit by trying to hold this with some channel locks. I have a whole new pump and I need to separate them. And then I need to go to bed. My wife is out here for the first time ever because she can't sleep if I'm out here. And it is bedtime anyway. Yeah, it's working.
Bedtime.
I'm really hoping I got all the O-rings because I really can't see the other side where this pipe goes. But these O-rings actually have not lost their shape. They still look good, but it's getting new ones. Okay, it's the next day. This came out, and thankfully, I'm going to be able to replace all the O-rings, but it's good to know that the OEM ones would have been fine to reinstall. I mean, they still stick out a good bit. I definitely can't see it. Let's see if I can feel it. So to get to that area, it's going to be a lot easier with this wheel off. So the best I can do is placing a camera there and trying to fish it in by sight. So I can remotely view where the camera is. This can't be the way to do it, but if you know a better way, let me know. So I prepped the tube with a new O-ring. Let's see if I can make this work. All right, there it is. I think I got it in the right orientation. I can't see anything, but hoping I'm close. Is that it? My grip wore out. So close. I think that's it. All right, the phone is gonna focus how it wants to. I'm gonna try to focus in, but right through there, I was able to see where the pipe was going, and that allowed me to adjust it and then finally push it in. But it took some doing. Now that I'm on this side, now I got it lined up, hopefully I can push it in. That's where this side of the pipe comes out, and that's where the water pump goes. I'm gonna wipe that area down and reinstall the water pump. Those 3 bolt holes there correspond with those 3 there. That's the new one. Hopefully putting it in will be easier than taking it out. So I'm gonna wipe this area down. The seal area needs to be as clean as you can get it. See if I can line the dowels up and get a bolt started. All right. What? Did it line up?
That's not it.
I had to try again, but I finally got it in. So I think I have everything lined up. But again, that O-ring is really tight. So I'm going to put the bolts in and see if everything will seat properly. All right, I got a bolt started. Let's see if I can get the other ones going. Now I got to screw it in a little bit. So I'm going to use my little 1/4 inch to snug them down. Ugh, and the top one. You elusive bastard. There is a torque spec for these, and it's between 15 and 19 foot-pounds. But guess what? I made an effort to get my torque wrench in there, and yeah, it's not gonna happen. So I'm just gonna try and do it by feel. And you can tell when everything has fully seated, so hopefully that'll be good enough. The manual also wants you to tighten them from top to bottom. It's awkward enough just to get regular ratchets and wrenches in here. I then made sure to transfer the temperature sensor from the old pump to the new one. And it is best practice to use a new washer for the sensor. That should be tight enough. Now I'm gonna plug up all the connectors I took off. When I was trying to remove the pump and the tube together, I removed some connectors, but it didn't end up helping much. I think that's all I took out. No, there was one more connector right here. Get on there. I can reseat the harness. And now the pulley can finally go back on. Line it up like that. Oh, and then get it spinning so I can feel the back side and the front side. Oh man, it seemed like that was easier in my mind. So I got one started. Yeah, the other two should be a lot easier. I'm just gonna go ahead and screw this one all the way in until the head touches the pulley because it doesn't want to stay in place. And that'll make things a lot easier. And there is also a torque spec for these. But yeah, I don't have anything that'll get in there. But I'll make sure it's tight enough that it won't come off. But not so tight that I break something. Remember that bolt up there that held in the bracket on the crossover tube? I gotta tighten that. And these belts, I think I replaced them within the last year. So I'm gonna get one of the little ribs started and then rotate it, and that should pull it on. Oops, didn't mean to hit the camera, but I think that did it. All right, the water pump has been replaced. Then it was finally time to put coolant back in the system. Time to start the car and warm it up, hoping there are no leaks or malfunctions. Now I still have the undercarriage and things off so I can watch for leaks as everything warms up. Now is the part where I rev it up to 2,500 RPM and leave it there for 5 minutes and then rev to 3,000 for 5 seconds and repeat that a couple times. That's how you bleed this coolant system. So here we go. And start the timer. The car will automatically drop the RPM at 5 minutes. Now I'm doing the high rev for 5 seconds. All right, I need to do that twice. The manual says do it several times, so doing it more than twice won't hurt. Here's the second time. And of course I had the heat all the way on just to make sure it went through the heater core. And look, no leaks. And they would have come down because the undercover is still off. So now I can button everything back up. Put this at 100 foot-pounds. The manual gives you a range. 100 will work for me. And then I could finally close up the coolant system. If you'd like to see all the other maintenance I've done on our CX-5, I'll have the playlist below. I then threw the undercarriage cover back on. The last thing, the little cover I took off to access the radiator drain. Then it was finally time to go get a donut, or maybe a fritter, an apple fritter. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.